ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदाङ्कितं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा माधव जय कुञ्ज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुञ्ज बिहारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी यशोदनन्दन जय व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन जय व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरां वनचारी यमुनातीरां वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुञ्ज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुञ्ज बिहारी। Hare Krishna everyone. Thanks for joining for today's discussion. We have been discussing chapter 14, the three modes of material nature. When the Lord injects living entities into Prakriti, material nature conditions the living entities with the three modes. The living entity is transcendental, but when it comes into contact with material nature, they get conditioned by mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. People in the mode of goodness conditions by the sense of happiness and knowledge. But there are very few people in this world who are in the mode of goodness, maybe like 1%. And mode of passion. People in the mode of passion gets conditioned by work. They always want to work. They're very active, very ambitious, always wants to achieve something. They get conditioned by doing activities, right? So, but their activities are filled with greed. They just want to satisfy themselves, their senses, their family, like that. And then mode of ignorance. And people in the mode of ignorance gets conditioned by lack of knowledge, darkness, and laziness, sleepiness, and they are filled with like harmful behavior. In this Kali Yuga, mostly people are in mode of passion. I would say maybe like 90% people in the mode of passion, and 9% in the ignorance, and 1% in goodness. It's just my idea. I'm not 100% sure about that. But anyway, when we say a person is in the mode of goodness, that doesn't mean he is completely in goodness. mode of goodness predominates the other two modes. And similarly, when we say a person in the mode of passion predominates the other two modes. In this picture, okay, I will explain. In 14.14, Lord explained the destination of people who leave their body in the mode of goodness. So people who leave their body in the mode of goodness will go to higher planetary systems like Brahmaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, those, and Swargaloka. But devotees are not interested in going to the higher planetary systems because they are also within the material world. Devotees are interested to go to spiritual world, right? Goloka, Vrindavan, and Vaikuntha planets. So we are coming. So now we came to the today's verse, that is 14.15. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tada praleenastamasi मूढयोनिषु जायते. रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा कर्मसङ्गिषु जायते तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि मूढयोनिषु जायते. Rajasi, in passion, pralayam, dissolution, gatva, attaining, karma sangishu, in the association of those engaged in fruitive activities. Jayate, takes birth. Tadha, similarly. Pralina, being dissolved. Tamasi, in ignorance. Mudhayonishu, in animal species. Jayate, takes birth. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. So earlier we discussed about people in the mode of passion, right? They always want to do activities, especially fruitive activities. So teenage kids, when you look at them, how they will be, like they're always active. They always want to do something, right? So that is example of people in the mode of passion. But when they grow, as they grow and reach adulthood, like 30 years or 40 years, at that time, people should have like thinkings, like thoughts. Adhato Brahma Jignasa. Why am I here? What is the purpose of this life? Where I will go after this? What is the connection with God to me? Those questions should arise in people, right? But people in the mode of passion, even though they get those questions, they just put them aside because they don't want to waste time in spiritual education and spiritual knowledge. They just want to do activities all the time, earn more money, buy even bigger houses, cars, and sense enjoyment all the time. And they have like too much attachment to their family members. A husband will have too much attachment to his wife and also kids. So when they leave the body, obviously they will be thinking of their family members, or themselves, like because they are so much attached to their body or their belongings. If they love their house or a car, they will be thinking of those. So again, they will get a human birth and indulge in fruitive activities. Because when they leave their body, they will be in the consciousness of mode of passion. For this, I want to tell a story. One time, one woman, unfortunately, she lost her husband. So she was grieving about her husband. But she loved her husband so much that it's been like almost 20 years, but still she was thinking about her husband. And one time, one sadhu came to that village. And this woman went to that sadhu and asked him, I want to see my husband just once. I want to see how he is. Then maybe I'll be pacified. So the next day, the sadhu took this woman to the neighboring village. A wedding is happening over there. And the sadhu showed the bride to this woman. That bride was that woman's husband in the previous birth. The woman was shocked. He was a man, but now he became a woman. And then the sadhu explained, your husband loved you so much, so he was thinking about you all the time. And even when he was leaving his body, he was thinking about you. Because of that, he got a woman body in the next birth. And then that woman understood that if I continue like this, I will get a man body in the next birth. And again, I will be in this birth and death cycle. So she practiced Krishna consciousness seriously, and eventually she went to Krishna. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. Okay. So if somebody dies in the mode of ignorance, they will become animals. Prabhupada explained this very nicely in this purport. Some people have the impression that when the soul reaches the platform of human life, it never goes down. This is incorrect. Yeah, I have seen many people thinking that when the soul, right now we are humans, so we don't need to take animal births. That's how a lot of people think. Some people don't even believe in reincarnation. I'm not talking about them, but some people believe in reincarnation. Even them, they think that once we reached human form, that's it. We don't need to take animal births, animal forms. But that is incorrect. There is one very famous example, that is Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj became a deer, right? Let's see that picture. Yeah. Bharat Maharaj, even though he led a very dharmic life, he was in mode of goodness. And he was a great devotee, right? But since he got attached to a deer, he was thinking about the deer when he was leaving the body. And what happened? He became a deer, right? And also one more example is King Nruga. One time, Krishna's sons, Pradyumna, Samba, and some other cowherd boys, they were all playing in a jungle. And they played for so much time and they were very thirsty. So they were searching for a well, for water. They found one dry well, and there was a lizard, very big lizard, in the bottom of the well. They tried to pull the lizard, but they couldn't. So they went back and told this to Krishna. So Krishna came and he pulled the lizard with his left hand very easily. And since Krishna touched the lizard immediately transformed into a beautiful demigod. And then he started explaining his story. Of course, Krishna knows everything, but he was again telling. He said, I was a king. I was the son of King Ikshvaku. I was doing a lot of charities, especially cows to Brahmanas. One time, I gave some cows to one Brahmana, and one cow came back to my cows and started living with the other cows. I didn't know that, so I gave that cow along with some other cows to a different Brahmana. And at that time, the first Brahmana came and he saw that, he recognized that that is his cow. And he said, why are you giving my cow to a different Brahmana? And the second Brahmana wanted the same cow and the first Brahmana wanted the same cow. They both were arguing. So I said, I'm very sorry. I will give 100,000 cows for that one cow. But both Brahmanas refused that offer. They both wanted the same cow. And since I cannot give the same cow to both Brahmanas, they were very angry on me. And after a few years, finally, my time came to leave this body. And when I left, I went to Yamalok. And Yamraj said, you did so many good things in your life, but you did one bad thing. You accidentally gave one cow to two Brahmanas and you made those Brahmanas angry on you. Because of that, you have to suffer like a lizard in the next birth. And I have been suffering like this for many years. And finally, I got relieved from this body. Actually, I heard this story before I came to Krishna consciousness. At that time, I didn't understand one thing. That was that King Nrugu is so pious. He did so many good things, but he did only one bad thing. And how that is fair to get punishment for that many years. But later, when I came to Krishna consciousness, I understood that even though we are so pious, we do so many charities, but still there can be some mistakes we will be doing, like unknowingly. Suppose we, without offering food, prasad, if we just eat our food, then we are committing mistakes, right? Because we are killing a lot of bacteria that we can't even see while cooking, and we are eating. So we are killing tiny bacteria and we are committing sin. But if you are Krishna conscious, and what you will do, you offer food first to Krishna. It will become prasad. When you eat prasad, you are not committing that mistakes. You are not getting that sin. So that is what I understood from this story. According to this verse, if one develops the mode of ignorance, after his death, he is degraded to an animal form of life. We just saw the story, we just heard the story, right? About the King Nrugu. He was leading a life very pious in mode of goodness, but still accidentally he did a mistake. Because of that, he suffered. What to speak of people in the mode of ignorance? They will do so many mistakes throughout their life, right? Mainly their consciousness will be eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. And when they leave their body, the consciousness will be like that. And that is the consciousness of an animal. So obviously, they will get animal life because of their consciousness and also because of lot of mistakes they did throughout their life, lot of sin they incurred throughout their life. From there, one has to again elevate himself by an evolutionary process to come again to the human form of life. When a person in the mode of ignorance commits a lot of mistakes and he incurs a lot of sin, when he leaves the body, he goes to Yamlok, right? Obviously. And then Yamaraj punishes that person by giving a lot of animal birds. So he will give like, okay, first you will get a worm, and then an ant, and then a crocodile or elephant. We don't know the order. We don't know how the punishments will be. But after many births, he might get a human birth. But when he was like an animal, he cannot decide what is his next birth because he doesn't have the free will. He doesn't have the discrimination. But as humans, we have the discrimination and we have the free will. We can design our next life by our activities. If we lead Krishna conscious life, then we will get a human birth. Or we can go back to Vaikuntha without getting one more birth also. Therefore, those who are actually serious about human life should take to the mode of goodness and, in good association, transcend the modes and become situated in Krishna consciousness. So, a person in the mode of ignorance or passion, he needs to first come to the mode of goodness. And how he can do that? By associating with devotees, by taking up Krishna consciousness. He can easily transcend the modes. First, he needs to associate with devotees. He will give the devotees will give some work. By doing that, by practicing devotional service, by chanting, slowly he will come to mode of goodness. And in good association, transcend the modes, and he can, when he comes to the mode of goodness, he can actually practice Krishna consciousness more better because he understands who is Krishna when he is in the mode of goodness. And eventually he can transcend mode of goodness also, and he can reach Suddha Sattva, pure goodness, and become situated in Krishna consciousness. So, good association. To explain this, there is one story. One time, Narada Muni goes to Lord Vishnu and he asks one thing. Can you explain me the importance of devotee association, sadhu sangha or sajjana sangatya, sadhu sangha? And then Vishnu says, okay, go to earth and meet this worm. There is a worm on a tree branch. Go and ask this worm. He will explain you the importance of sadhu sangha. So Narada Muni came obediently and went to the worm. And he asked the question, can you please explain me the importance of sadhu sangha? What happened? immediately the worm died. Narada Muni felt very sad. He went back to Vishnu and he explained what happened. Vishnu smiled and told him, okay, go and ask this calf. There is a baby cow just born. Go and ask. So Narada Muni again came back. It's on a different location on earth. And he asked that baby cow the same question. Can you please explain me the importance of devotee association, sadhu sangha? Immediately the baby cow died. And again, Narada Muni felt very sad and he went back to Vishnu. And Vishnu said, again he smiled and he said, go and meet this baby boy. So again Narada Muni came and it was again in a different location on earth. This baby boy is a newborn son of a king. So he is a prince. He cannot go inside the palace, right? So he waited outside until everyone sleeps. When everyone is sleeping, he went inside. As soon as Narada Muni entered the baby boy's room, he smiled, the baby boy smiled and welcomed Narada Muni. And he started speaking. I was a worm, but because of your association, I immediately got rid of some of my sins and I got elevated to a calf. And when you came and met when I was a calf, again, because of your association, some of my sins were eradicated. So I got elevated to this human form. Now, since I am a human, I have the discrimination. I know which is good, which is bad, and I have the free will. So I can design my next life. So I will sincerely practice Krishna consciousness. So that is the importance of good association, devotee association. This is the aim of human life. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that the human being will again attain to the human status. So our aim should be to practice Krishna consciousness and lead a purposeful life. Go back to Krishna within this life. If not, practice Krishna consciousness sincerely in the next life. नेहा विक्रमणासोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. Even if we do a little bit of devotional service, that will protect us from the most dangerous type of fear. And the most dangerous type of fear is not able to get a human form in the next birth. But if you practice Krishna consciousness in this birth, even suppose you did 20%, you will start from 21% in your next life. So Krishna gives a human birth in a very rich family, like aristocratic family, or in a devotee family where you can practice Krishna consciousness further and fulfill up to 100%. So that is the guarantee. If you live a Krishna conscious life, you will get human birth in the next life. In the translation, we see that when one dies in the mode of passion, he will get again a birth engaged in fruitive activities, right? But there is no guarantee that when a person in the mode of passion leaves his body, he will get a human birth. because mode of passion and ignorance, they always battle with each other. There is a constant battle. So a person in the mode of passion can easily go to mode of ignorance. And if he lives in the mode of ignorance, he will get animal birth. So it's always good to be in the mode of goodness. But how can we be in the mode of goodness in this Kali Yuga? Only by practicing Krishna consciousness. Because there are other processes, but they are very, very difficult to follow in this Kali Yuga. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samsayaha. Mam eva, Krishna said. Only by remembering Krishna, it's not like, okay, I remember Krishna and I also remember my loved ones. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to remember only Krishna when you leave the body. Then only we can go back to Krishna. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever we do throughout our life, it will reflect at the time of death. Whatever we do most in our life, like if we watch movies all the time, then we will be in that consciousness. If we like to eat food all the time, thinking of eating palatable dishes, then we will be in that consciousness when we leave the body. And if we are Krishna conscious, all the time we will be thinking of Krishna, right? We want to do something for Krishna, either chanting or cooking, cleaning, garland making, something related to Krishna. Then when we leave the body, we will be in Krishna consciousness. And we can go back to Krishna. So let's all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we should leave our bodies like Bhishma Dev, how he was completely immersed in thinking of Krishna. His mind, his eyes, his activities, everything were immersed in Krishna. Thank you all for listening. Hare Krishna.